Hi, I'm Marcy Brazelton with Community Kitchen ATL, and I am in my kitchen today with Et2 Home to show you how I use their beautiful hand-blown glass carafes made from recycled glass for all of my summer entertaining. I have 3 recipes that I'm going to share with you today on how I use these to entertain during the summer months. What I love about these carafes, they hold a liter of liquid and they have this gorgeous top that pops right on. But the wonderful thing about it is these carafes are perfect for infusing because it has a filter on it. So when you pour your beverage out, everything that you've infused your beverage with in the carafe does not spill out into your cups. So today I am going to show you how to make 3 of my favorite recipes, starting with one of my personal favorites, a very simple new take on iced tea. So this is called sun tea. So what I do is I take 2 large tea bags, and I'm using tea bags from Tea Forte. These are specially formulated and designed to make iced tea. So they're larger bags. What I do is I put them right in my carafe that's filled with water. Go ahead and pop that top on. And then you want to find a nice sunny spot somewhere outdoors. So you want this to sit in direct sunlight for 3 to 5 hours, depending on how long and how pungent you like your tea. And let nature do its work. So you'll come back with this beautiful carafe full of sun tea, homemade iced tea. What I then do is take the tea bags out, and your finished product will look like this. I add freshly sliced lemon. And then the wonderful thing about this beverage, and a nice way to make it super festive, is I take a cup of water, add half of lemon juice to that cup of water, pour it into my ice cube trays, and then you have this beautiful, festive, delicious little tray of ice cubes. And I also add very thinly sliced lemon rinds to these cubes. So you'll see they come out with these beautiful little slices of lemon. That's what I use for my ice cubes in this iced sun tea. So as your ice cubes melt, that lemony flavor really gets into that beautiful tea that you've just brewed, and you also end up with these delightful little lemon slices in your glass once all of your ice cubes melt. Wonderful way to enjoy the summer months. Pop it in your refrigerator, keep it, all day long, enjoy as the day goes on. Very fun, family-friendly beverage to enjoy all summer long. My next recipe I'm going to share with you is one of my favorites to serve for brunch. So in lieu of the typical mimosa or Bellini, I highly recommend you try a Lillet Spritz. So if you're not familiar with Lillet, it is a French aperitif wine that comes in 3 different varieties. This Lillet Blanc, they have a rosé version, and they also have a rouge version, which is a little heavier red. I don't recommend the rouge for this recipe, but the Blanc and the rosé are completely interchangeable and are delicious in this. This is another really easy recipe, depending on what flavor profile you're looking for. The Blanc is kind of more honey and orange blossom flavored, really nice and light and crisp with just a little bit of sweetness to it. The rouge is more berries with a little bit of orange blossom added in. So it's a little, just think white wine versus rosé wine often. So for this recipe, we are going to use our carafe to infuse the Lillet for a few hours in the refrigerator before we actually serve it as our beverage. So what I do is I add several thinly sliced strawberries. So I just basically take the green stems off and throw all of those strawberries in there. Use kind of 2 to 3 strawberries. I also add some sliced cucumber. I'm using very thinly sliced Persian cucumber for this recipe. Put your fruit in your carafe so it's sitting at the bottom. And today I'm going to use the Lillet Blanc for this recipe. So I'm going to add about 16 ounces of my Lillet Blanc to my carafe. And then I'm going to pop it in my refrigerator and let it infuse for about an hour or so. It just depends on how long you have. If you don't have a lot of time, that's fine too. But just pop it in your fridge for as long as you can. Put the top on there, let that infuse, like I said, for at least an hour. If you have a couple of hours, even better. Once that is infused and you're ready to serve your beverage, you want to add some chilled tonic water. Now, if you have an aversion to tonic water, you can also use a seltzer, which is going to add, that nice effervescence, that nice little bubbly to this recipe, but it won't add kind of that tart sweetness that the tonic water adds. Totally your preference. I prefer the tonic water, so serve it nice and chilled. Pour it in there with your Lillet. We're gonna pop the top back on our carafe. And again, this is the wonderful way to use these carafes. Find a beautiful festive glass. I'm using a champagne coupe. And then just pour your delicious spritz into that coupe. And I love to garnish this cocktail with a sprig of fresh mint. If you have a little herb garden, or just grab some from your local farmer's market or the grocery store, whatever is most convenient, and add that to your coupe and serve it up at your next festive brunch. Cheers! Last but certainly not least, this is my go-to beverage when we are entertaining outdoors. I call it the garden party, and it's my festive take on a gin and tonic or a vodka tonic, depending on what your alcohol preference is. Today, I am making mine with vodka, but again, if you're a gin and tonic fan, absolutely, highly recommend gin in this recipe as well. I'm using just a basic Tito's, one of my favorite, just mid-range, delicious, high-quality vodkas. And what makes this drink really special is the Saint Germain. So this is an elderflower liqueur from France. It adds this amazing sweetness, kind of herby flavor to any cocktail. It's one of my favorite mixers, certainly during the summer months, but really all year round. So what we're gonna do is we are going to add 6 ounces of vodka to our wonderful carafe. We are also gonna add 6 ounces of the elderflower liqueur to our carafe. And then we are going to add 4 limes juice. So that's gonna make this really citrusy, add a little bit of tartness. It kind of really enhances the flavor of that elderflower liqueur so that it's not super sweet, but you still get that amazing flavor from that. Then we are going to add 2 different limes sliced very thinly, all to our carafe. And then we're gonna pop it in the refrigerator and let this infuse for a few hours if you have a few hours. If you don't have a few hours, that's fine. If you can pop it in the fridge just for a little bit, that would be wonderful. So this is what it's gonna look like going into your fridge. Your vodka, your Saint Germain or any elderflower liqueur you wanna use, your fresh lime juice, and your lime slices. Once you're done infusing that alcohol and making that base for your beverage, I'm gonna add tonic. So again, if you don't like tonic or are not a huge fan of tonic water, this works really well with seltzer as well. I'm a huge fan of anything sparkly, especially during the summer months. Anything sparkly served over ice, that is my go-to beverage. So, and I personally like tonic because it adds a little sweetness and a little tartness as well as that fizziness to any beverage that you're making during the summer months. So you add all of your tonic, which is about 16 ounces of tonic. So you just want enough to fill your liter carafe. And we are going to serve this in a cute little glass filled with ice. You're gonna pour your beverage in there. And then again, we are going to garnish this with a fresh sprig of mint from my little herb garden. And here you have this wonderful, festive, effervescent beverage called the Garden Party, perfect for all of your summer entertaining needs. Cheers, guys. Happy summer.